Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second session of Storms of Almshoven. So this is kind of a learning process for us playing the game as well. I think most of us have some kind of familiarity with Wifrup from earlier editions. But yeah, there's a few subtle differences. And I did make a mistake in the rules last time, but it was a fortuitous mistake, I think. When we were doing combat, we were just taking whoever in a melee got the highest success level as being the person who won out in that combat and landed a blow. And that's not correct. You can actually miss. So the defender's role is what you're competing against to try and hit them. But the way we were doing it was whoever in that clash got the highest roll landed the blow. And I actually quite like that. I wish that had been the actual rule. So I think in terms of melee combat, we're going to stick with that because it does speed things up quite a lot and makes sense of the kind of rough and tumble struggle that melee can be. So we'll keep using that rule. So that's an official house rule from a fortuitous mistake. Quick recap on last time. Last time, Ulthar here, our noble, and his servant were travelling back to their old hometown of Almshoven from Marienburg. And on the way back, they ran into a nasty storm coming in off the sea that basically washed out the road and everything. And they had to depart from the road to seek cover. They found cover in a seemingly abandoned farmstead, but it turned out that the farmer had been killed and his wife and daughter captured by a skaven and its pet giant rats, which they dispatched in due course before returning to the town. So, yeah, there's been some celebration. It's not the greatest of heroic deeds, but something of an heroic deed. So Ulthar's got a little bit of a name for himself, and that's what's drawn you other two people to him. Do you each want to just quickly introduce your characters, who they are, what they do? Starting with Jared there and Gantz, the Watchman.
Sure. So I'm Gantz, the Watchman. I'm a watch recruit, and have a fondness for law and order and swordsmanship. And that's about where I'm starting.
Yeah. Fantastico?
This is Solon playing Massimo Fantastico di Lucini from, well, Delia. But essentially, yeah, he is a up-and-coming apprentice wizard. Whether he would use that term or not is an entirely different matter. Fairly easygoing, tries to be likable, has a penchant for fame, fortune, and power, and this seems like the best way to get there.
And Ulthar.
Almshoven, I think he's the third son of the ruling family around here. So still young man at 21. Yeah, so he's been out trying to make a name for himself, and well, hasn't succeeded. One Skaven aside, but he did get a good, very powerful hit on that Skaven with his fencing rapier. Yes. That sums him up.
Yeah. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks. The buzz around the imminent Skaven threat, which of course the local preachers and everything talked up to fill the pews. It's gradually faded from memory, just leaving a sort of residual respect for Ulthar. And other people who are seeking some kind of adventure or fame or wealth have become kind of hangers-on after a fashion. You've been spending your days and your evenings pretty much in the Beak, which is the sort of local main watering hole / inn. So Almshoven's not a huge town. It's got a rundown port, but wagons and so on following the coastal road from the Reich to Bretonnia pass through here. So This is kind of the place where it's the most cosmopolitan spot in the town, which isn't saying too much. It's a smoky den of gossip and watered down beer, but it's a good place to be to get a sense of the buzz and to be the first person to get the news. So Fantastico and Gantz have been hanging out there as well, around Ulthar, trying to sort of get some of the reflected glory off him and seeking their own fortunes. But it's been quiet and it's been very cold. So not so many wagons have been coming through, slowed down by the weather. After that storm, everything just kind of got really cold. No snow yet, but there's ice everywhere. And lots of the plants have died off, and great big potholes have opened up in the roads from ice freezing up through them. So the Beak is a pleasant place to just hide out, stay warm, keep your seat by the hearth, and listen to what little news there is. So you're there smoking, drinking, probably having a meal. Ulthar telling the tale of the Skaven battle for about the 50th time to an increasingly diminished audience. Yes, you meet in a tavern. It's an oldie but a goodie. When a ruddy-faced gentleman in a rather garish tunic comes marching over to the hearthside where you three are sat listening to the story, and just kind of presents himself and glares at you all expectantly.
Is that my cue?
It's anyone's cue.
I'm just going to look at this newcomer. Does he look like he's well dressed, or
reasonably well dressed? So it's of the burgher class, not a peasant. New money, little bit garish, little bit over the top.
Funny, that's somehow familiar. Just gonna look at him and be like, "Can we help you?"
Yes, I think you can. You're Ulthar, aren't you? Son of the noble.
Aye.
And your friends, are they with you?
They are.
He looks around, drags a chair away from one of the nearby tables and kind of wedges it in and hefts himself down and adjusts his belt. I run wagons, and occasionally you will lose one to bandits or raiders or goblins or Skaven or disasters, but it's been happening a little too often for my liking. And I'm certain that my last wagon isn't being delayed by the weather, but it's been waylaid again. Somewhere between here and I think it's Brokewater is the village. Just let me double check. Should have brought up the map beforehand. Here we go. I have a feeling I always get the name wrong. No, it is Brokewater. Okay. So somewhere between here and Brokewater, I'm certain.
How many wagons have you lost?
This will be the third. Once is carelessness, twice is suspicious, 3 times is most definitely a pattern.
Going to look expectantly over towards our glorious leader.
How far away would this be from here?
Let's see. Brokewater is joy of joys, the map does not have a scale on it. That's just wonderful. I do so enjoy it when maps do that. Okay, well, let's say a thumb is a day's travel. So 2 days between here and Brokewater. You pass through Brokewater on your way back to Almshoven. It's a shitty little village, barely a scrape anymore.
And what line of business are you in? What goods were these that were being transported?
Oh, I transport all sorts. Last season's fashions from Marienburg to the bumpkins out here, that sort of thing. Supplies.
And I assume, of course, that anything that we find you would like returned to you.
Of course, but you'll be paid handsomely for your trouble.
Eyes are lighting up.
Arthur looks at these, trying to think things through. Do we have any idea what's behind this? Is it bandits? Do you have any enemies, perhaps? Is this targeted against you personally?
It could be any merchant, worth a coin makes a few enemies. People they've undercut, or people they've bought things from for less than perhaps they should have. That sort of thing. But I doubt any of my enemies, who are mostly centered in Marienburg, would come out this far. They prefer their civilization far too much. No, I can't think of anyone who would seek to ruin me in this way. It's a rather crude and unbusinesslike way of dealing with an enemy.
And turns to our fellow of the watch. Have there been any sightings around here of goblins recently, or other signs of Skaven, perhaps?
Can Gantz make a gossip roll, please?
Sure. Okay, so that's 26
under
plus 41. So
no, you roll under your total.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so that's a success.
Okay, so it's 26 under 40 something,
41,
wasn't it?
yeah.
So that's 2 degrees of success. Goblins and so on aren't so much of a problem out this way. There's been no particularly reported bandit activity since the last gang of bandits was strung from a gibbet. So no, there's nothing in particular you can think of. The merchant leans forward and says, the other strange thing is that there's been no sign of the wagons. When I've sent riders to check where they are, they're just gone. Bandits would leave them, burn them out, take them away to sell them, perhaps, but there should be some sign most of the time.
That is strange.
And no wagons with my livery have been seen for sale either here or in Brokewater, or, to the best of my knowledge, which won't be complete, in Marienburg. So,
do you trust your own men? Could they have defected?
It's possible. Coin will bend many men's will, but this last were my most loyal men, ones I can count on. People over whom I have more pull than simply money.
So this is personal as well.
Or it could be...
I'm certainly taking it personally.
So it does not seem that your goods are being simply taken and sold at market somewhere else, as far as we know. At the very least, we don't know where the wagons are actually going.
The goods are generic enough. I wouldn't necessarily be able to tell if someone was selling them on. But it's simple things, really. Nothing that should particularly draw the attention of a bandit. These aren't expensive trinkets. This is clothing, dry goods, grain, dried meats. I haul in bulk. That's where I make my money.
When is your next wagon expected to go through? Not for some time?
It should have been here today, even accounting for the weather. So there is currently a wagon missing somewhere between here and Brokewater.
Hopefully the trail will still be fresh if we decide to go. He looks over at, since Fearless Leader has not committed to this yet.
If we have the craft to pick up the trail of these wagons and see where it leads.
Can't be hard to find a wagon.
I'm loath to send out any more wagons at present.
Well then, if you can give us the details of their intended route and the details of the wagons, I think it would help us pick up the trail.
And then if we can agree on a price. Okay, my last shipment was 3 wagons. They were supposed to be picking up grains, potatoes, and rough workers' clothes ready for the spring when it comes. God's willing. Three wagons, 2 drivers each, and 2 guards.
And your business until the spring, at least.
Aye. So, what would you charge me for this service? To find my missing wagons, put an end to whatever is attacking them?
Thoughtful for a moment. Haggling. It doesn't work because I have no idea what stuff's worth.
Why don't we ask for a percentage of his business for the next year?
2%? Do I hear 3?
Well, what would you say is the value of those wagons and their contents?
Oh, let's see. Let's find out. Animals and vehicles. Okay. So 25. Okay, so the total value, he tells you, is about 300 gold crowns. That's the wagons, the mules, and the goods. So, a gold crown each?
Should we say a gold crown each if we can figure out what's happened to them, with a bonus if we actually manage to recover your goods?
How much of his color drains when we suggest that sum?
I mean,
a gold crown each if you recover the goods or stash them somewhere where they can be recovered. A tenth of the value of the goods.
Acceptable.
He extends one spit wet hand.
Shakes.
Wilhelm Wagner, by the way. But of course, I know you.
Yes. Just gesture to fellows.
His 2 hangers on? You don't know.
You're peasants. That doesn't matter. Deal with the noble. Put all your attention there.
Exactly.
He does go out to his horse and comes back with one of his saddlebags, which has his livery symbol and so on it. Look for this, and he hands you the bag.
I'll take the bag and start studying it.
Okay. It's a fairly new leather bag. The crest marking on it is a griffin over a set of scales, both gold on sable.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to ask him about the route his wagons take.
We just take the road. We have a few stopping off points here and there, which we use regularly. He takes a bit of parchment from his pocket and with a charcoal pencil just sort of quickly sketches telling you the sort of landmarks to look for.
Okay.
I mean, they may have decided to hole up until the thaw, but unlikely. They know how important this was to me.
And that would only explain the most recent one.
Exactly.
You don't send guards with your wagons, do you?
I haven't needed to. Usually we'll hire a guide or a guard at whatever town or village, give them passage. Safety in numbers in exchange. I sent guards on this last one.
That gets my attention. How many?
2 coachmen.
I am definitely looking worried now, but okay, we again looking at fearless leader. How soon should we set out?
Well, it's late now. Let's set out a first light.
All right. So, any preparations? Any extra stuff you want to get?
Rope.
Do you have no rope?
I do not know. I do not have ropes. I will need to buy a rope.
Okay.
You can never go wrong with rope.
No. Enough to hang yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So is it D? Is that I see for wealth we've got D and SS.
D is denarii, right?
Yeah, so it's a penny, a brass penny. SS is silver shilling, and GC is gold crown.
Right.
And unlike in other situations, it's 12 pennies to a silver shilling and 20 silver shilling to a gold coin.
Yeah. Right. Gear.
I just want to get myself a bow and some arrows.
You'll be lucky. Things are expensive.
Yeah. We'll see.
You any good with the bow?
It's got my ranged at. Oh, that's not very good at 27.
No, it's not great. But having a ranged weapon is still good. Gives you options.
Yeah.
If I was rope, which section would I be under? You think it would be easy?
Maybe just assume a couple copper.
Okay. No, it's quite expensive rope.
Oh dear.
10 yards of rope, so 30 feet is 8 shillings and 4p.
Well, I'm not going to be buying any rope, so oh well.
Have some string.
I'm good. I'll just go with what I got.
Okay. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, we can forget about
the essence of Warhammer begins to sink in.
Yeah, we can forget if rope is that expensive. We can forget about a bow for now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just bring a girl with really long hair with you. It'll be fine. Okay, so the only preparations then, well, assume you can get some rations or whatever from him. Probably a warm cloak or something.
Yeah, and a night of prayer.
Yep. And the town only has an official Temple of Sigmar, but there's an unofficial shrine to Manan on the waterfront.
A Sigmar is good enough for me.
Okay. You receive no divine guidance, but it gives you some solace. Okay. Right, so the morning rolls around. First light, the crow of the cock. So you meet up again in the market square, ready to head out together. I'm assuming you two stay in the inn, or well, the watchman probably has a hovel somewhere in town. But yeah, you meet up again in the market square. It's very cold again, very frosty. The cobbles are all rather slippery, forcing you to kind of hunch slightly as you walk. It's not a full-on market day, but there's a few market stalls already starting to set out their goods. And you huddle together, breath misting in front of you. Time to go. Any last-minute prep?
Let's get to it.
Okay. What's your sort of marching order? What's your plan for travel?
I'll go in the front.
Okay.
Are we walking or riding?
Do you all have horses? I don't think so. So Shanks's pony it is.
Right, yeah, okay.
You're more likely to spot tracks and so on from the ground than you are.
I've got a manservant on my trapping, so
Right, he picks up a pair of coconuts and
it was going there.
Right, okay, yeah, no, fine. So, well, okay, right. Well, do we have a skilled tracker among us?
Outdoor survival, anyone? Or I think tracking's a talent as well.
My outdoor survival's not trained. It's just 37.
Yeah, same.
Did you say 16?
No, I said same.
Oh, I was going to say.
Well, clearly it's a job for someone who is, hard wise, wizard. Actually, in fact, what title does your character? How does your character describe themselves?
A student of the mystical arts and so on and so forth. Very important, And if you ask him for details, he's like, hey, it's too complicated to explain to layman.
Isn't that what Mr. Gon called himself in the Max? I think. I am a student of the mystic and occult arts. Unfortunately, not a very good student, which is why I have to keep shooting people with this gun. Something like that. Okay. Right. So you head off at a reasonably slow pace because it's cold and frosty and slippery, and also you don't want to miss anything. So yes, you begin your march. Can you all make outdoor survival and perception rolls, please? So D100 under those.
96.
That's an automatic failure, but not a botch.
I succeeded the survival, but failed perception.
Okay.
Okay. My perception is 90. That'd be a failure. And survival is 65. So that'll be a failure as well.
24 on perception.
Is that a success?
I believe so. Where's perception on here? That's definitely. That's one of my good ones. So yeah, definitely success.
Okay. Okay. All right. You set out. It's a long, slow, cold, tedious day. The mist never really quite lifts. It stays low and thick because of the cold weather. Which means you don't get to see too far either side of the path. So you're fairly sure there's a good chance you may have missed something if there was anything there to find, which you can't really tell. Following the shitty little scratched out map that Wilhelm gave you, you do stop off a couple of places where there's like a slight dip in the ground where wagons might have been able to pull up, or a cairn of stones a short way off the path, which you can just about make out through the mist. But there's no sign of anyone having stopped there. And then at the end of the first day, you haven't really seen anything, and it's really time to make camp. Someone did succeed on their survival roll, didn't they?
That was me. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, you stop off at the side of the road, make your camp. The other two aren't too much help, but you managed to find enough dry twigs and tinder and old bits of wood by the side of the road to make a little fire to keep warm at least.
Yeah, enough of like a depression so that the wind isn't blocking at least half of the fire while I'm trying to make it.
There's quite a lot of big stones deposited on the moorland and heath here, so you can always shelter around one of those. Stops all the heat dissipating quite so quickly. Right, can everyone make perception rolls again, please?
Okay. 11. That's definitely a success.
That's a fail for me.
Okay, who got 11?
That would be me. Fantastico.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a critical success.
Nice.
So that's really good. Yeah, if you roll a double and it's a success, it's a critical success.
Cool.
Okay, so you're all sort of settled down for the night, just, eating your rations, trading chit-chat. When Fantastico notices a little gleam of a lamplight quite a way down on the road, but it's the first sign of anyone else's activity that you've seen here.
I will quietly note that to the others, like, hey, it seems like there's someone coming down the road a ways.
Once he's pointed it out, and after a little while, you do notice it as well. Just a little lantern light bobbing along the road. Little more than a spark at this distance.
I'll take a position behind one of the trees on the side of the trail.
Okay. There aren't a lot of trees around here, but you can find some bushes, some gorse bushes to scramble down behind. Prickly, but good cover.
Yeah, we'll follow his lead.
Okay.
Are we hiding the fire?
Yeah, well, you need to keep one person by the fire, put the fire out.
Okay. Drape a damp sackcloth or something over it to put it out, but leave some embers so you can restart it if you need to.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. After a while, the lamplight resolves itself, and you can see that it's a man in rough peasant garb with a piece of sackcloth at his belt, with a wooden staff shod with iron, and with a lantern hanging on the end of it, just swinging backwards and forward as he walks along.
Okay. I'll wait for him to pass me.
Okay. Yep. He strides past you. I'll see if he notices you. He does not notice you.
All right. I'll step back out in the road behind him.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stranger travels the road at night?
Okay. He shrieks in a rather feminine squeak, jumps, and then sort of recovers himself and turns around. I've got no coin if that's what you're after.
I'm going to step out from the other side of him, step out to the road and be like, we're not after your coin.
Ah!
We want to know what you've seen on this road.
It's been a rough journey, I tell you. Tell you what, I'll trade you my tail for a swig of ale or water or whatever you've got.
How about a sit by our fire?
You've got a fire?
Well, we can get it going again.
Yeah. Aye, that'll do.
All right. I presume this is another survival roll, right?
To restart the fire, I think I'll just let you restart the fire.
Fair.
Hooray. No botching and engulfing the new guy.
Sorry. He squats down cross-legged with a sort of oof noise and a few pops of joints and kneecaps and things, and huddles over the little fire to warm himself.
So what's your name?
God damn you, asking NPC names. I really need to...
Seamus McPeasantson.
Yes. Peasant face. Aha! Random name generator. Got your number.
I mean, does his face look like an asterisk or anything? Or like a
Yeah, it's grey and blank with a triangle for a nose.
Great.
Dankmar Riemenschneider. You can call me Dank.
Dank. Great.
By the way, is the nobleman joining us?
Yes, yeah, I'll step out.
Okay, good.
Are there any more of you lurking in the shadows?
Only about 10 more. It's okay. No, there's the three of us.
If there are, they're not our friends.
Could use a sniff of brandy for my nerves after all this. Yeah. So I'm Dankmar. I come from Brokewater. I make my money as a guide for caravans.
Then why are you traveling alone?
That's a very good question. We were set upon, and I'm not a warrior, so I fled. When I turned back around, I couldn't find the wagons again. They just seemed to disappear.
What was doing the attacking?
There were arrows, shouts. I couldn't tell really whether they were men or something else.
How far from here did this attack take place?
About in this weather, this mist, 4 hour stride.
Hopefully we're far enough away that they won't come after you. Just in case, we should probably... Sorry,
I don't think they care about one peasant running.
Let's hope.
So what are you doing on the road in winter?
Investigating missing caravans.
Good fortune brought us together then.
I imagine your employer was Mr. Wagner?
I was working for the caravan. I think they were working for him. They employed me to guide them.
I want to read this guy. I want to know if there's anything more to him than what we're seeing.
So intuition.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fail.
By how much?
By about
just the 10.
By about 50.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
okay, he seems a completely upfront, steadfast, and good chap to you.
Okay.
You trust him implicitly.
I actually have a decent intuition, I think. So, sorry if I do the same thing.
Yep.
Okay. Nah, failure by less than 1 degree.
Okay. Yeah, you can't get a particular read on the guy. His story seems to make sense.
Yep.
So, all right. So I have no doubts that this guy led this people into their demise. Okay, cool. So, did you see anything at all during this attack?
Arrows, shapes, shadows. You can see what it's like. They must have been able to see the wagon's lights in the dark, and that's how they spotted us, I think. Not much traffic this time of year, so... I mean, if you want to risk it, I could take you back where I lost sight of them.
Looking over at Fearless Leader.
You seem like strong and doughty men who aren't scared of bandits. Perhaps we can rescue someone. Perhaps I can still get paid.
How far away was this?
About 4 hours.
4 hours stride.
Too late to go there tonight, obviously.
Aye, if you want to be in any condition to do anything, yeah.
Oh. Well, very well then. We have our course. We'll set off at first light when we can see. As soon as we can see where we're going, and see what we can find.
Okay. The rest of the night passes uneventfully. The weather's a lot better come morning. The sunshine's coming down. There's not many clouds in the sky. That made it a very cold night, but now the sun's rapidly warming everything up. The ground is kind of steaming and the mist is burning away as you set off. So you should have a clearer line of sight.
Excellent.
Okay, well, we have a guide. Let's move with what speed we can muster.
Right. So Dankmar takes the lead. He's pretty sure-footed on this ground. It's like he knows the road and the area and the terrain very well. So he kind of sets the pace for the rest of you, quite brisk. About 3 hours into the morning, so by about 9 or 10 a.m. No one really operates on that kind of exact time here, but around that sort of time, he stops to sort of take stock of the area. Now, we were moving to encamp off the road. I think this way. Can you all make outdoor survival rolls, please?
23. So I think that's a success. Yes.
Yeah. So it only takes one of you to get success. That's good enough. Okay, there are wagon marks, fairly fresh ones. The cold ground made it so that the impressions aren't too deep, but it does look like there's some kind of encampment or something off here where wagons do occasionally stop.
You see Reichspiel Visitor Center.
Okay. Dankmar takes the lead again, but moving more slowly and carefully.
I'm going to check this. Check the area. I mean, if they're shooting arrows, maybe they missed. You know what I mean? I want to see if there are those kind of signs of struggle, so to speak.
Can you make a perception roll, please?
6.
6. Okay, that's pretty good.
That's a success.
In the immediate area, you can't see any signs of arrows or struggle or anything in particular, really.
Okay.
Okay, so this track off the side of the road, it's starts to become soggy, and off the other sides of the road, there's like a bog or a marsh area here in this kind of depression. And then there's a small rise up ahead with a few twisted, gnarly, low trees. That's where we were camped.
Alrighty.
The bog's still covered with a sort of thin sheet of ice over it.
Well, hand on hilt, I'm going to go up and investigate the what was the camp.
Okay. The rest of you just following along?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Waiting for our inevitable betrayal.
Well, Dankmar hangs back a bit, looking a bit scared. I'll just stay here if you don't mind.
Okay.
No argument.
Okay. So you move up to the encampment. So yeah, there's this handful of low trees. There's a fresh stump where one of them has been cut down. Scattered firewood all around it. There are impressions and marks as though 3 wagons were situated here. There's the remnants of a campfire. So just all ash and lumps of charcoal. Few empty tins and food packets and things around, pots and pans, few broken glass bottles. But there's no sign of the wagons themselves or of any people. But you are on a slight sort of rise. This is like an island in the middle of the bog. Can you all make perception rolls, please, at -10?
Does that mean it's easier or
harder? So take 10 away from your skill and roll under that.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a 91. That's a no.
Yeah, I had to fail.
Did anyone succeed?
Oh, I don't think so. Just double checking. Or was it perception?
Yeah,
at a -10 though.
I would have passed, but not because failed because of the -10.
Darn it.
Well,
okay.
It's fully one, so close, but no.
From back down the path where Dankmar is, you hear a high, shrieking, piercing whistle. So you're sort of drawn to look, and he is blowing away on a whistle, and then he turns and runs down the path back towards the main track, nearly slipping over a couple of times as he does so.
I think we're in trouble.
What do you want to do?
Draw my sword. Get down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hunker down somewhere where I'm like less visible.
Okay.
So we're on was it a firm patch in a bog? Is that right?
Yeah. In a little stand of trees.
Did it look like he was whistling at someone in particular? Was he looking somewhere?
No, he was just blowing as hard as he could on a wooden whistle that had been hidden under his shirt.
Oh, how far away is he, by the way, when this happens?
50 yards.
Can I do a thing?
What do you want to do?
Shade bolt? No, he's too far away. 50 yards, you said.
Yeah.
It's out of my range.
If you got 2 degrees of success, you could hit him, probably.
Ooh, well, in that case, I will give it a shot. I might fall short.
Okay.
But I will give it a shot.
So roll under your language magic skill.
Gotcha. Will do. That is that. Even better. Okay. Let's see what I get. 15.
And what's your skill?
My skill is where's the language magic? 49.
Okay, so that's 3 success levels. So yeah, that's double the range, and
that should be 60, 70 yards.
Yeah, and plus 2 damage. So that's actually degrees.
Did I just kill the guy?
Probably not. But okay, let me just. It's the first time we've used magic in the game, so I just want to be sure I get it right.
Fair enough.
Give me a sec while I look it up.
I'll describe it once I actually know what I did.
Bless you.
Or more specifically, to the guy I'm shooting at. Curse you.
Well, you're literally casting shade at him.
Yes.
Throwing shade, yeah.
The way I would describe it, by the way, regardless of how effective it is on him, I'm pretty much going to look over at our fearless leader and be like, I'm pretty sure he's betraying us. Is that right?
Yeah, nonsense. Yes.
And then he's just going to lift his staff, because he's got like this, like, it's more of a walking stick pretty much, where he's just like, lifts the staff, points it, Strigvalder Vaska. And then just...
Okay, what's your willpower?
Ooh, that's a good question. My willpower is 32. Wait, no. Currently at... Why does it say 32 and then currently... Oh, advances. It's at 34.
Yeah. Okay. Right, so it's 5
Sorry,
damage.
I'm new to this.
That's okay. We're all relatively new to this. Okay, it's going to strike him in the back of his left leg as he runs. So do you want to describe the Oh, you did describe the casting, didn't you? Okay. So yeah, a little bolt of shadow flies out from the end of your walking stick and strikes him in the leg as he's running.
Does he go down, or is he still running?
He stumbles and slips, crawls along for a way, and then picks himself back up, sort of hobbling with one leg.
I'm just going to be like, I'll be right back. I'm just going to jog after. Because I assume if he's moving at a slow pace, I can get within range to shoot him again.
No, stay together.
You're welcome to come with.
Yes.
Okay, so Ulthar, you drew your sword. Fantastico fired his bolt and then hurried after the peasant. Gantz drew his sword. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I hunched down. I hunched down. I was just starting to look for cover when this all happened.
Okay. The ice coating the bog all around you starts to groan and creak, and then shatters into shards in multiple places. And an enormous shit brown octopus emerges from the murk, tentacles reaching out towards the island.
Kind of glad I already started running.
Right. So that's it preparing itself. So it's had its go. Just a sec. Let me copy and paste its statistics so I've got them more handy.
I'm trying to read where my health is on this sheet.
Wounds. Second page, I think.
Nice. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I definitely would not have killed that guy with only 5 damage.
No. Okay, combat. Ulthar. You're splashed with mucky water and fragments of ice as this great beast emerges from the bog.
I will panic and attempt to stab it with my fencing rapier. That's clearly a good idea.
Okay, so you dash forward to the edge of the island and strike out at one of its tentacles. Okay, make an attack roll.
Let's... Oh, my nice one. Okay. Oh, hey, 8. That's
Okay.
very powerful against my skill of fencing is 46.
Okay.
Nice.
So how many degrees of success was that then? That's 0 to 4, so you got 4 degrees of success.
I'm not sure how round the rounding works.
You just use the tens. That's all. You just knock off the units.
Oh, okay. So yes.
So you got 4 degrees of success.
Yes.
And it failed quite spectacularly as well. So how much damage does that do normally?
I don't know.
Should be next to the weapon, I believe.
Fancy foil damages. It's +5.
Okay.
It's got some stuff on it. It's a rapier. It's fast, impale, precise, and damaging. So it gets double armor, I think, because it's a foil.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So you rush to the edge of the island and spring forth and drive your rapier into one of the suckers on one of its tentacles. It recoils, bubbling swamp gas. And bleeding bluish blood. Fantastico.
Still jogging after the other guy because I'm going to handle him before I go and start blasting that thing.
Okay. Right, so you carry on jogging along the path.
I assume am I closing the distance?
Yes. So
okay, cool.
What's your move?
That is a very good question.
Page, I think.
Second page or first page? Sorry.
First page, I think. It should be 4.
Movement, 4, walk, run. 16 unimpeded.
Okay.
And I have no idea what he's running at, but he's impeded. So.
Right. Okay, it's only 38 yards between you now.
Cool.
You want to? Well, you can't really do anything else if you're running. So
Exactly. Yeah, I'll wait till next round to do it.
okay. Ants.
I'm gonna make. All right, I'm gonna stand up, but not maybe not to my full height.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do a quick glance over my shoulder and make sure this tentacle thing is the only thing we're looking at. You know, I want to make sure we're not getting surrounded here.
Okay, can you make a perception check?
Sure. That's a fail by 4.
Okay. It's hard to tell, but this thing is so loud and so big, you know, it kind of dominates all your perceptions.
All right, letting out a resigned sigh, I'm going to charge this thing and attack one of its tentacles with my short sword.
You rush to the edge of the island and lash out. Okay,
Yeah.
make an attack roll.
That's a miss by 2.
Okay, so it's -2. Okay, what's your toughness?
My toughness is 35.
Do you have any armor on your right leg?
Just a moment. No.
Okay, just a sec. You're going to take 9 wounds unless you want to spend a fate point to avoid all incoming damage. But 9 wounds won't take you out. You probably want to save your fate points.
All right. I will take the damage.
Okay, so you charge up, lash out with your sword. The tentacle twists and writhes around and catches you with whatever the equivalent of a backhand for a tentacle is, knocking you clear off your feet and sliding you back onto the island a short way.
Okay.
Okay. That guy continues to try and hobble away. And the Bogtopus makes an attack on each of the 2 guys on the island. Right. So, Ulthar, how do you want to defend? Are you going to dodge or counter-strike?
I'll counter-strike.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Ooh, I've rolled a 10.
So that gives you...
My luck's in today, unlike last time.
Yeah, so that gives you 3 degrees.
No, it's better than that because it's a foil. That's a critical. I crit on 10s as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's 3 degrees critted.
Okay. And the damage of that sword is?
What's that, sorry?
The damage bonus for the sword?
+5.
Okay. Critical hits.
It's a very palpable hit.
Yeah. You're doing a lot better than last time. 159. Criticals. If you score a critical hit, your opponent receives an immediate critical wound as your weapon strikes true. 7-2. Critical wounds. Okay, roll D100.
45.
45 was that?
Yep.
Okay. 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 As it lashes out towards you, you strike right through the middle of one of the suckers and must hit a nerve or something inside, because a whole length of the tentacle just kind of goes limp, smacks down into the ground at your feet, and then is drawn back into the water. So it's no longer able to use that tentacle, and you did some extra damage. Right. And Gantz.
Does it look like it's still actively fighting, or is it decided to clear off?
It's still actively fighting. It just brings another tentacle forward to replace that one. Gantz, how do you want to defend yourself? Dodge or counterattack?
Dodge.
Okay, make a dodge roll.
Okay. $30. My God, that's a success.
By how much?
3. Like I rolled a 30 and he needed a 33. So.
Okay, so yeah, so that's effectively 0, but that's
okay.
Still,
sorry, I understand that.
Yeah. What's the damage bonus on your sword? Oh no, you were dodging, weren't you? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So you duck under the blow easily and get on the other side of it. We've been forgetting about advantage. If you land a blow or you successfully dodge or whatever, you gain a point of advantage. For each point of advantage you have when you make your attack or your action, you get plus 10% to your skill.
Oh, okay. So that was an extra degree of success on my critical.
Yeah. So try and remember. And when you fail, you lose all advantage that you've gained thus far. So try and remember that. I'll trust you to keep track of it. So when you succeed at something, you gain a point of advantage. When you fail, you lose all your points of advantage. Each point of advantage gives you plus 10% to hit.
And the advantage counts. Do you also accrue advantage from defensive things as well?
Yes.
Cool.
And magic?
If you succeed on it in combat, yeah. It's like momentum. Think of it in that way. So
that's really good for shortening combat, making it dramatic.
But it can get a bit out of hand sometimes. it gets ridiculous. Okay, so it's gone. Okay, so new turn. Right, Alpha.
Okay, I shall have at it again, since clearly it's no match for me.
Okay, give it your best ninja.
Okay. 96.
That's an automatic failure.
Okay, well, due to advantage, I was on 60.
Yeah, 96 is always a failure.
I was on 66 as well because of my advantage.
Okay. So you lose your advantage, but luckily for you, it rolled 100, so it fails as well. So you sort of meaninglessly flail at each other, and nothing really happens. Fantastico.
I am at, I believe you said 38 yards or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's still slightly out of range, but I could get lucky. I have 1 point of advantage, which means that's going to bump me up to, I believe, 50. Let's see, language magic. That would put me at 53. I'm gonna jog one more round.
Okay. So another 16. So now 26 yards from him.
Does he look panicked?
Yes. And he starts shouting out, "Help!" Can you make a perception check, please?
Sure. That is a 94.
So, no.
I see nothing wrong with chasing him.
Okay. Gantz?
Yeah, I'm just going to attack this thing. See what happens. That's a success by 1.
Okay. How much damage do you do with your weapon?
The weapon does 7 damage, the short sword.
Okay, so you're pretty strong then.
Do I roll like 1d10 in addition to that, or is that different?
No, it's however much you succeed by plus the bonus.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you hack and cleave at this tentacle biting into it, but its skin is really tough and rubbery. You get through a couple of times, and it does. This tentacle at least seems to be weakening slightly, but it's really hard to hack into.
Okay.
Right. And it's go. Okay. It brings more tentacles forward, attacking each of you with 2 of them. How are you defending yourself, Ulthar?
I should counterattack again.
Okay. So, first attack. Make your roll.
45, which I think is a... Oh, yeah, my skill is 46, so it's just a pass.
Okay, so that's a 0, which means it just hits you. What's your toughness?
Advantage. Oh, well. Nice.
What's your toughness?
Toughness is 30.
Okay, so that's 3 off. What armor do you have on your head?
2 points.
Nice.
My open metal helm.
Okay, so this tentacle lashes out, wraps around your head, and picks you up off the ground. You're partially smothered and crushed, taking 4 wounds after everything's taken into account.
Ow.
And then it lashes out with its second tentacle. Can you make a second defense, please?
Yes. 14 on that roll. So what's that, 3 degrees?
Yeah. Okay. That's plus, was it 7 damage with the sword?
Plus 5.
Plus 5. Okay. So, okay. You can't really see what you're doing, but you lash around you with the rapier, and you think you connect and nick it somewhere. But you are held round the head with a tentacle. Right, Gantz, how are you defending yourself?
The tentacle that I've wounded already, I'll counterattack, and
okay.
And the one that is fresh, I will try to dodge. Is that legal?
Sounds good. Okay, so counterattack first.
Okay. What am I rolling against here?
I think it's melee basic.
Okay. Damn, that's a fail by 2.
Okay. What's your toughness?
My toughness is 35.
Do you have any armor on the torso?
Yes, I do. An armor of 1.
Okay. Takes 6 wounds, and its tentacle is wrapped around your chest.
Okay. So, question. So now my wounds, do we do area-specific wounds, or is it...
No, it's just general wounds.
Okay. So for my wounds, it says, like, what the total damage you take, it just says, like, wounds 15. Does that mean 15 does me in?
Yeah.
All right. So in this case, I should use my fate points to to avoid that.
Yeah.
Damage.
So you take no damage, but you're still entangled by the attack. Then the second tentacle, cross off one of the fate points. Second tentacle makes its attack.
Okay.
So make your defense.
That's a success by 1.
Okay. So you hurl yourself away from the fresh tentacle, and that allows the other one to grab you and lift you up off your feet. Right. New turn. Ulthar, whose face is currently wrapped with tentacle.
I guess I'll keep trying to fight it.
Okay.
I was going to suggest biting the tentacle.
Let's not.
Do you want to hack at the one that's got hold of you?
Yes.
Okay, plus 10 to hit.
Do I have advantage from winning the last round or not? Or
because it was the second one you hit, so yes, you have 1 point of advantage.
as well? Okay. I've rolled 80. So failure by 2.
Okay. Okay, what's your toughness again? 3, wasn't it?
Yep.
And do you have 2 armor on the head?
Yep.
8 wounds.
Ow. No, that's 12 now. I don't know how many I can take.
Should be second page wounds.
Yeah. There's a wounds number, middle right of the page.
Sorry, I had some windows closed, and there we are. Right, wounds. Second page. A wound. 10.
Ooh.
Okay, so you're going to need to spend a fate point to stay alive.
I'll do. I shall spend a fate point then.
Okay, so you don't take any damage, but it does still have you grappled.
Ow.
Right. Fantastico.
I'm going to shoot this son of a bitch. Pardon my French.
Okay.
I am going to fire at him, lift the staff, shout the command word again, and...
Okay, he desperately tries to dodge with his gammy leg.
21. That's definitely a success. By how much? Language magic. Advantage counts as raising the skill amount, right? So that means that goes to a 53. So 3 degrees of success.
Nice. Okay.
So that should be strength. 3 damage plus. Yeah. So I guess that's 3 plus 2 or 3 plus 3.
Well, I've worked it out.
Okay.
Okay. Right. He tries to dodge. The shadow bolt catches him square in the middle of his back and burns a blackened hole through his chest. He breathes a brief little gust of black smoke and then falls forward flat on his face.
I'm going to take a look around because even though I didn't see anything before, he was screaming help, and I don't think it was to the bug beast.
Okay, make a perception roll.
65. I see nothing.
I see no ships. Right, Gantz, what are you doing?
So this thing has got me up in the air, wrapped around by my torso, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I still able to? How effectively can I wield my my sword at this point?
Well, it's got you held, so you know exactly where it is, so you can.
Right, I've got it exactly where I want him. All right, so
exactly.
So I will do just that. Because I succeeded and failed last time, and the order that I made the rolls was different than the order you decided it was narrated. So I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'm retaining my advantage.
Go by the order of the rolls.
Okay. All right. I will attack. That is a success by 4.
Okay. Okay, and the damage bonus for that is
7.
7. Okay. Okay, you hack away at it, but you can't see how well you're doing. But it does twitch and shudder, but it doesn't drop you.
Okay.
Right. You look something up quickly. Looks like I'll have to improvise.
So I assume, from my perspective, I heard the shouts of battle, steel and rubber and beast screams, and then the shouts of my companions got oddly muffled.
Okay, it yanks the tentacles holding the two of you back down into the bog, so you're suddenly immersed in icy cold bog water.
Oh, dear.
You probably knew that was coming. You can hold your breath for a number of turns equal to double your toughness. So, Ulthar, what's your toughness?
30.
Okay, so it's 6 turns.
Yeah, okay.
And Gantz, what's your toughness?
My toughness is 35.
So double would be 70, so you can hold your breath for 7 turns. Okay. and the Bogtopus, keeping you two under the water, drags itself through the mire and slush down the road at a rather slow pace. So it's still quite a way away from Fantastico.
And even if I get there, I can't see it, I don't think.
Yeah. Alpha. You're underwater and in the grips of the tentacle.
I'll try and strike at the tentacle to get free.
Okay. Right. Make a strength roll.
Oh, 18. Yes, I can do that.
Okay, so that's how many successes?
1.
Okay, you struggle, but don't manage to get free.
Oh, okay, so I'm not hitting it, I'm just... Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you just attacked it, you'd probably need to get a critical hit for it to let you go. So I figured getting free was more important.
Yeah, okay.
If you disagree, that's,
I find less likely to actually get anywhere doing that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Fantastico.
So the logical thing I'm going with, I assume if I look back, I suddenly can't see the Bogtopus or my companions.
Well, you can see that it's moving towards you, but it's trailing 3 tentacles in the water and using the others to pull itself towards the edge of the bog.
Oh, so it's trying to get to the edge of the road and start smacking at me.
Yeah.
Oh, but I can see it and shoot it.
Yes.
In that case, I'm going to turn and start shooting. And hope to God I can hurt it. How far away is it? Exactly. How far away is this thing?
Narrative, you can hit it if you move towards it.
What if I don't want to move towards it?
You can keep it at a reasonable distance and shoot at it.
I'm going to try that then. Okay, rolling. Come on. I got 2 points of advantage now, so that's actually going to help this a lot.
Yeah.
Let me see. 20.
So how many degrees of success?
I believe that's still going to be 3 degrees of success.
Okay.
That means
willpower was 3.
Yeah, so that's going to be, 5 again? Total?
6, I think.
Oh, okay. My math sucks.
Okay, so yeah, you blast the spell at it, you hit, so you get another point of advantage, but it just seems to kind of dissipate over its thick, rubbery flesh.
That's not good.
No. Gantz, you are underwater as well.
Okay. I guess I'll try to free myself of this tentacle because I don't think using my swords can be very effective under the water.
Okay.
Is it?
It's a short sword, I think, so you can stab with it. But make a strength roll otherwise.
Yep. I can apply my advantage, correct?
Yep.
All right, so I'm off by 1.
Okay, so you lose your advantage.
Yep.
And you don't manage to pull yourself free. Okay. Right. The Bogtopus lashes out with several of its tentacles, grabbing hold of some of the stubby trees that are around here and there and the rocks, wrapping them around it, and hauls itself forward. Closing 12 yards on Fantastico. So it's about 20 yards away now.
Is it pulling itself out of the water at this point, or?
Yes, it is.
Oh, good, so they can breathe.
Yes, you can see great big rubbery tubes either side of its head, sort of gulping for air. And those two, as they're dragged out of the water, yeah, you can now breathe again. But you're being kind of bounced along the ground. Right. So, new turn. Alpha?
I shall try to stab it.
Okay, go for it. Plus 10, remember, because you're in close quarters with it.
100.
So automatic failure, but not actually a critical failure, just an automatic failure.
Actually, the rapiers, they quit on 10s. I don't know that makes a difference.
No. Okay, yeah, you flail around ineffectually and find yourself bouncing off the gravel and the ground. Fantastical.
How is it? Like 1 or 2 rounds distance from me at this point?
One more round of fast movement will get it within striking distance of you.
Okay. It's moving slower than me?
Yes.
I'm going to just think like, okay, my last shot did virtually nothing. Discretion is the slightly better part of valor, and I am going to start running down the road away from it. At least to get a little distance.
Your poor allies.
I apologize.
Hey, right, if this thing, you're doing us a favor by keeping it on land.
Exactly.
True. Okay, Gantz, you can breathe again. What are you doing?
I'm going to stab this arm that's got me.
Okay.
That's a miss by 1, unless
it failed miserably. So, and you do 7 damage with your sword, don't you?
Yes. That's a. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gain a point of advantage. You land a pretty damn good wound on it. As you stab your sword deep into its tentacle and kind of keep hold of it while it's trying to pull free, opening the wound wider and wider and getting splashed with this bluish, coppery blood. Right, Fantastico. As you're legging it, can you make a perception check, please?
Alrighty. Come on, don't fail this time. 97. I see nothing.
Okay, and then can you make an athletics check at -10?
I don't think athletics is good for me. Let me try that. It's not bad, 38, but now it's going to be 28. I do not foresee this succeeding. 7?
Is that a success?
That would be a success, even at that.
Okay. You completely fail to notice the peasants wearing kind of sack-like masks hiding in the undergrowth on either side. You also fail to notice when they suddenly yank hard and a rope bobs up from the ground at trip height, but somehow miraculously you don't trip over it and carry on running. Right, Ulthar, how are you defending yourself?
I'm going to keep trying to stab it.
Okay. Make a roll.
Oh, 51. So that's just a straight fail, I think. They've got their advantage, so.
Okay. What's your toughness?
3. Or 30.
Okay. Do you have any armor on your left leg?
1.
Okay, it takes 7 wounds as the Bogtopus bounces you up and down on the ground.
Well, I've still got the 4 from earlier, so that puts me on death again. So
second fate point?
Yeah.
Yep. So you take no damage.
Yes.
Right. Well, you won't necessarily be dead immediately. I think you start taking critical wounds.
But yeah, I think it's a fate point, though, isn't it? In this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, if either one of you goes down, I'm kind of doomed. I'm just hoping you guys can murder that Bogtopus.
Well, it started well, but then it's gone badly.
I mean, I might make it out of here. Maybe.
Okay. Gantz, how are you defending yourself?
I'll counter.
Okay.
Want me to roll?
Yep. Remember your advantage.
Yeah, that's a success by 2.
By 2. Okay, so gain another point of advantage.
Yep.
Yeah. And 7 damage with the sword, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. The sword bites really deep into the tentacle, and you hold onto it for dear life. The thing burbles and shrieks in pain and drops you, and you land on your shoulder and tumble as it draws that tentacle back and starts moving backwards away towards the water, dragging Ulthar with it.
Shit.
New turn. Ulthar.
My strength's too weak to break free, so I'm going to keep trying to hit this tentacle that's got me.
Okay, before it gets back to the water. Go for it.
99.
Automatic fail. Okay. So... got 2 armor on your head, don't you?
Yes.
Take 2 wounds to the noggin.
I'll take that. I've now taken 6.
Okay. Yeah, your head sort of bangs off a rock as it drags you back along the ground. Fantastico.
How many peasants are we talking?
You didn't see them.
Oh, but I somehow got past the rope.
Yes, just by the purest chance. You didn't see the rope, you didn't see the peasants, you were just running and comedically stepped over the rope.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense then.
So
okay.
You're still unaware so far.
However, I am going to turn around and shoot at the creature as I see it starting to retreat.
Go for it.
Okay. Oh, come on. Now I've got like 3 points of advantage currently, so let's see. That puts me at 61 threshold. Let's see. Come on. 33. That is a success, and that would be 3 degrees of successes.
3 degrees of success. Okay.
Wait. Doubles? Is that still a thing or no?
That's a critical, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you scored double. And you got 3 degrees of success. That's 3 plus your willpower. So that's 6. That's only 1 wound, but it is a critical.
Yeah, magic does not seem to be the best tool against the bog beast.
Yeah. Can you roll D100, please?
Will do. 52.
Okay. How do you represent a broken arm in a creature that has no bones? Okay. Your shadow bolt flies out, strikes the creature in one of its already wounded, one of its already gaping wounds in one of its tentacles. The one currently carrying Ulthar, and explodes inside the flesh, blowing apart several of the rings of muscle and dropping Ulthar.
Hey.
Endurance test or stunned. It's not stunned. Takes an additional 3 wounds. Okay, it bellows in pain and drops Ulthar. Okay. Gantz, what are you doing?
I'm going to run over to Ulthar. I'm assuming is he on his feet or is he just landed on the ground? Like
just landed on the ground.
Yeah, I'm going to stand over him. So if this thing tries to attack him, I can intercept it, but I'm not going to attack it.
Okay. Doing anything? Right. It drags itself back into the water, leaving blue bloodstains all over the ground, and sinks beneath the surface with a sound like an enormous fart.
I'm helping Ulthar back to his feet.
Okay.
Well, that was unpleasant.
I'm going to jog back to the others since I know nothing about those peasants.
Yes. Can all of you make a perception roll, please?
Is our advantage still?
Advantage is gone at this point.
Yeah.
24. I don't know if that's a success or not, though.
That's
perception. That is a success, actually.
Okay.
Perception is one of my good things. 2 degrees.
Okay. So finally, you notice this gang of peasants emerging from the shrubs and gorse bushes and so on at the sides of the road. You also see that there's a rope across the path that don't
How
really
did I
know
miss
that? One of them, you assume to be the leader, sort of carries himself with a bit more style and authority than the others, and he's carrying a bow. The rest have only got crude clubs and staves. So there's 5 of them in total, the archer and his compatriots, and they sort of spread out across the road and start walking towards you.
So I'm going to be running behind my companions now.
Okay.
Save me, O glorious meat shields.
Okay, glance over my fellow, see if is he badly hurt or not. I know I'm badly hurt.
How badly hurt is everyone? Anyone taken any wounds other than Altar?
I'm down 6.
Yeah. I'm half dead myself.
Yeah, okay.
Well, or my right leg is taken a pretty grievous wound.
So you're bloodied and smacked around and dripping wet with stinking bog water.
You're not in a good state. Okay, right. So I'll say quietly. Actually, do I know what language you guys speak?
You've probably heard me speaking in both Reichländer and Bretonnian.
Okay. Well, I'll speak in Bretonnian because that way, hopefully, the peasants won't understand us. Let's try and bluff away out of this. Threaten them with your great magics, wizard.
That might work. I'm not injured, and I actually have social stats.
And they've seen you display your awesome power.
I'm actually going to, as they try to recover them. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I should turn to them. Try not our patience, for we're here escorting the famed wizard Magnifico.
I will lend you my power. I will start chanting in gibberish.
Weep, Grana, weep, Ninibon. Okay. Make an intimidation roll with a bonus of +10 because you did just see off a Bogtopus.
That's a success for me.
I don't. Okay. No, I have charm and cool.
It's not really a charm situation.
Sadly.
So base intimidation.
Okay. You want me to roll also, or just him?
Just Fantastico.
Oh, okay.
We're not exactly looking at intimidation right now, are we? The two of us.
No. You can try and back him up if you succeed on intimidation.
I'm using the assist mechanic. I'm assisting with intimidate.
Okay, so both of you roll intimidate. Then, if you succeed, he gets +10 to his skill.
Cool.
No, I don't.
Okay.
My roll was successful.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so Fantastico can add 10 to his intimidate, and then another 10 because I said you just saw off the Bogtopus, so it's +20 to your base intimidate. Roll under it.
I found a bug here of the system. The intimidate is a strength-based skill, which makes no sense for wizards.
No,
it's okay though. It's okay. Actually, could I begin visibly channeling power as I do this?
Yeah,
that might actually help a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, even though I'm not necessarily going to use it because the channeling mechanic's useless for me right now. Just visibly drawing shadow energy.
Okay, and, add another 10 then.
All right, actually got an appreciable shot at this. Come on. Oh, and the die went on the floor. And it's a 30, so I think it's a success. 39, which is 2 degrees of success.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, no, it's 36. So that's 30, 60. No, that's 3 degrees of success. I take that back. There we go.
Okay, they hesitate and move back slightly. The leader knocks an arrow and draws it up to level it at you. Cease your chanting, wizard.
Lower your arrow and I will. Technically, I just did, but he doesn't need to know that.
Okay, he lowers the bow slightly.
And I stop chanting and the channeling dissipates.
Even with a wizard, you won't be much of a match for all of us after that tangling with the Bogtopus, what say you pay a small toll and then be on your way? And we call that an end to it.
I shall look like I'm deferring to the wizard. What? What say you, my lord? O great wizard.
As much as it would please me to destroy all of them, I find myself a little bit weary. Very well. What would you charge?
They mutter to each other, discussing what they like the look of. Let's have a look. Doesn't Ulthar have some like ostentatious jewelry or something as part of his background gear?
Jewelry worth 25 gold crowns, apparently.
Yeah.
It's probably all very dirty right now. I'm not sure it's completely visible at this point.
We'll have that gold chain from around your neck, my lord.
I wave a hand dismissively at Ulthor, like, I'll reimburse you when we get back to town.
Okay, I shall glance at other companion to see how he's feeling.
What does Gantz make of this?
With him, so he can,
Well, I'll lower my sword. I'll shrug. Put a brave face on it. My lord.
Very well. How should we go about this? I'll say to our mighty wizard.
They will step aside. We will walk through, and then as they close ranks, we will drop the chain and walk. If they attempt to shoot us, I will shoot them, and we'll see what happens. And I'm not saying that quietly either.
Very, very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. They agree to this state of affairs. They move aside to either side of the path and wait.
And are we going to start walking through? Because, if we start a fight, we're probably not winning this.
I'll say Batonian, if you took their lead, I suspect they'd probably bottle it.
Is the leader wearing armor?
He's wearing a leather jacket.
He's got a bow.
He's the only one wearing armor.
Yeah.
And
if it comes to it, it comes to it.
I'd rather get back to... I'm just going to whisper, I'd rather get back to town and let them know about this. We can come back out with guardsmen and put an end to their brigandry.
We have no choice. I'm going to start walking. I'm going to do my best to not limp, despite my gaping wounds in my right leg.
They know you're both injured. That's the only reason we're presumably not dispensing with them.
Doesn't mean I have to show it.
That's fair.
Okay, so you pass along between them. This is the point you're supposed to drop the chain. So are you?
Elbow.
Yes.
Okay. Right, so the heavy gold chain, the mark of your rank, drops down into the mud. And you keep on going?
Yes.
Okay. They close up behind you. The leader stoops down to pick up the chain.
And I'm going to keep walking. Don't know about the other two, but...
You just going to let them get away with it?
We'll take a moment to pause and mark them, and remember to mark their faces if we can, mark their
Yeah. Can you all make perception checks, please?
Okay. 1 degree of success.
Fail.
No.
Okay. Looking at the sides that they emerged from, they've got sort of little hides built into the ground, like small trenches with turf covers. In some of them, you can see sacks and bags, and some of them have the livery of your employer upon them.
Well, that's going to be helpful. That gives us more incentive to bring people back here. Assuming they're here when we get back, because that's like a day's travel out. They might have vacated by then.
How many are there of?
4 peasants and the leader.
You know, we could... I'm just going to whisper. You know, if we get if we get another 15 yards and they haven't shot us and they're still on the road, if you two don't mind the possibility of dying...
I'm going to give him a look like he doesn't want to finish that sentence.
We have distance. They only have clubs and 1 archer. It's your choice. I just didn't want to do it with them being ready to stomp on us.
If there was somewhere to hide, sure.
I mean, it'd be obvious if we stepped off the road right now.
I don't know the extent of your powers, so I cannot form a strong judgment here.
I'm not going to be able to kill him in 1 hit. It might take several.
We can collect our reward right now, can't we? We know what happened to the wagons.
We aren't
going. Bonus for recovery.
It's only like 10% of the value, I believe. We're still going to get gold crowns for this. And plus, we can, increase our fame by saying we fought the bog beast.
Now that I'm aware of the bog beast, I can get my bow and draw off the bowstring.
Speaking of which, are we walking past the corpse of our guide?
Yes.
I'm going to reach down. I'm not taking his money because I'm pretty sure the bandits want that. I would take the whistle and look back at them.
Is that guy wearing the livery, by the way?
No.
Okay. We gotta get.
No. If we do not make the move, they will not stay here. Yeah, they're not. Surely they're not that incompetent.
I just had a thought. How close are they to the bog?
Fairly close.
I don't know if the bog beast wants to tangle again today. I think it's tired. Otherwise, I'd try that.
Right. Wizard, what range can you achieve?
Reliably 30, 35 yards. Past that, hit or miss. Emphasis on miss.
Okay. So we'll walk to 30 yards. I'll string up my own bow. And on 3, we turn, we take down their leader. Hopefully that makes the rest of them panic.
Nice knowing you.
Right. Because you succeeded on your intimidation roll and you're being somewhat sneaky and they're all busy looking at this heavy gold chain, you will get surprise. So if the 2 of you with ranged attacks wish to make their rolls, we shall start combat.
Okay, and no advantage. We're back to base, right?
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
We've got what surprise? Is that a bonus or is that an extra?
An extra turn, so free turn. And you do gain 1 point of advantage, I think. Let me just double check. Surprise.
Okay.
Because part of the point of the stream is learning the system and people learning along with us. Though we've already made house rules, so surprise 156. Surprise. Yeah. Okay, so while they're surprised, you get a +20 melee combat bonus to hit. I don't see no reason why that shouldn't also apply to ranged attacks. So, if the two of you want to make your ranged attack at +20.
All right.
Ooh.
That would be good.
I've rolled a 35. My skill is 35, so that's a 2 degrees with the bonus.
So, yeah, so 2 degrees.
Clearly, all that practice with those rabid dogs paid off.
Yes.
5.
You rolled 5?
That was a 5.
Ooh.
Okay.
So that means I've got, let's see, the base was language magic 49, and you said it was +20. So that's 69. So that is 6 degrees of success.
Okay. Right. How much damage does the bow do?
I don't actually have it over here.
Okay. Right.
I mean, I don't technically have it on my character sheet, but I'm assuming I've picked one up because I got the skill for it.
Well, you can't really assume, but we'll say you have one. Right. It's strength bonus +3. So what's your strength?
29.
Okay, so that's 2 +3, so that's 5 base damage with the bow.
Yeah.
Nice. We might actually hurt it.
So that's 7 damage. To the leg, where he's got no armor. That's 4 wounds. Okay, so the arrow flies true and jabs into his thigh. And then the bolt got 6 degrees of success.
Correct.
And your willpower bonus is 3, so that's 9 damage. To the head, where he's got no armor.
Oh, Jesus.
Does explode. Excellent.
Okay, so the shade bolt smashes right into his face and sears along his cheek. He's still got 2 wounds left, but he's not looking the best. Okay, now we go to normal actions. Remember, you got your advantage. Ants, you don't have any ranged weapons, do you?
No.
Okay, so Ulthar, do you want to fire another arrow at him?
Sure.
You can dodge this time, but you've got a point of advantage.
Hey, 99.
99.
Jeez.
Okay, that's a fumble.
The bowstring is wet.
That is the
Your
thing.
the ichor on your hand slipped.
Yeah. Let's see. Fumbles.
And it was going so well.
Fumble. Page 237. Right. Oh, that's a spell fumble. That's not what we want. You didn't fail so badly you unleashed chaos.
How would you do that with a fumble?
I don't know. Stranger things have happened. Oops table. There we go. That's what we want. Okay. The arrow splinters as you fire it, and a section of the splinter pierces the flesh of your thumb, sticking right through it. Take 1 wound.
Ow!
Yeah. And the arrow misses.
Okay.
Fantastico. Another bolt?
Yes, I'm going to finish that guy. I hope. I got 1 point of advantage now, right?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. That makes it a little easier. Come on. And 1 die went off the floor. 2, which I believe is 2 degrees of success.
2 degrees of success. Okay.
I need a larger space to roll dice.
Okay. He's kind of stunned by what happened to Ulthar, so the bolt blasts him straight in the heart and kills him outright. Gantz.
Dodge!
Yeah. Yeah, that's an Yeah, that's about right. I mean, are we out? How much cover is there between us?
There's none between you because you're all stood on the road, but there's cover to the side.
Right. Right. All right. Well, I'm going to charge along. I'm going to charge along the side of the road on the right side, where I can step behind a little bit of cover, so I don't have to get surrounded. If I end up fighting all four of these guys at once.
All right. So you charge along the road towards them.
Yep.
What do they do? 1, 2, 3.
So I'm sorry.
2 of them immediately turn tail and run as fast as they can in the opposite direction. The other 2 move to engage Gantz, but they don't reach you this turn because they're moving warily. Right. New turn. Ulthar.
Have I got a clear shot on them?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll keep shooting then.
Okay. Pull the splinter out first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've rolled a 31 against 35, so yeah, no degree. Okay. It's a success, but no degrees.
Yeah. And how much damage did the bow do? It was 5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The arrow strikes a glancing blow along the side of one of them. Fantastico.
I am going to shoot one of the... Actually, can I shoot one of the fleeing ones, possibly, or no?
You can, but they're not really a threat.
Okay, I'll shoot one of the 2 guys approaching Gantz then.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. That's 2 degrees of success currently. No, that's a 63, so I lose all my advantage.
Yeah, lose all your advantage and miss. Gantz, you close with one of them.
Yes. I'm going to do... There's rules for like a full attack in this game, aren't there?
I believe so. Let me find it. Nothing in the index, but there should be something under combat. Attacking. Can't see anything for it at the moment. If you choose not to defend yourself for a turn, I'll give you +20 to hit. Seems fair.
Alrighty, actually, I thought that's what I thought the rule was. Maybe I had the wrong edition though.
Maybe.
I'm gonna. All right, well, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll attack the guy that they just shot the bow at.
Okay.
And that is a success by 7.
By 7, okay. How much damage does the sword do? +7, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Right. You step in to meet this guy. He raises his arm with his club, and you hack his arm off at the elbow.
Alrighty.
And he shrieks, blood spraying out, and then just tumbles over into the ditch at the side.
I'll smile. I'll smile at the second one.
Okay. The second one takes one look at his friend, turns tail, and runs. Do you wish to pursue?
No, I'm going to grab the bow.
Okay. And the arrows, right. Well, combat's over then. The rest, 3 of them flee, leaving their dead friends behind them. Right. So you're left alone at the site of the ambush. The injured bogtopus is somewhere beneath the brackish water. But otherwise, you're free to investigate.
Okay. Right. Let's search the leader. Can I get my chain back?
Yes, you can.
Sorry about that, my lord, but it seemed like the only way to get out of there.
It worked out well in the end. And, yeah, you both gave good service. I did not expect you to actually make his head explode.
Neither did I, to be quite honest.
Do not underestimate his power.
But that plan lacked in conception and made up for in execution.
Anything else of note on the leader?
They each have one of these wooden whistles. The leader, when you pull the sack off his head, he has a brand on his cheek in the shape of a wolf's paw. It's just it's how wolf skins are marked. Outlaws, bandits, yeah, they get branded as a punishment if they don't get hung straight away. But across the three bodies, you find 22 silver shillings in reasonably freshly minted coin, probably looted from the caravans.
Excellent. And he had a weapon, just a bow?
Bow and a short sword.
Nice.
The rest of them just have clubs.
Oh. Was that it? Do we make a distinction between short and long bows?
Yes. Well, the short bow, long bow, elven bow are the types of bows.
Presumably, this is a short bow, correct?
This is a standard bow.
Okay.
Right. Unmasking the others. Can you make? What's going to be the right roll here? Perception at -10, each of you.
Might have been a success. Let me check. My perception. 1 degree success.
Okay. Anyone else succeed?
No.
No. You think you recognize one of these guys from a market day back at town. You think he's one of the farmers from Brokewater.
Oh dear. The locals were turning to banditry. I'll point that out to the others.
Right, we shouldn't dawdle here. Those two that escaped may come back with their friends. I suggest see what we can make of their loot, and if we can't carry it all, we'll stash it somewhere else.
Is there anything on their persons that could be construed as a religious symbol?
Probably people are fairly religious in this world because there are evil forces and demons and things out there. So probably one of them's got a hammer necklace, sort of a crude wooden hammer on a leather thong.
Yeah,
showing his devotion to Sigmar.
Yeah, that's not my interest per se. I just wonder if these are, standard brigands, or if they were making sacrifices to this bog monster.
They're possibly just using it
as a prop.
Indeed, they did use it.
Yeah.
I do not think they were cultists.
No. Okay.
So you said there was their loot in their
in the sort of hollows that they've dug. Yeah, there is too much for you to carry. You can take the more valuable items, and you could probably drag some of the others between you elsewhere. The bandits weren't using horses or mules or anything, and there's still no sign of any horses or mules or the wagons. All there is the goods, and it's nowhere near as much of the goods as you think there should be. But even so, it's too much for you to carry.
They don't have any cloth on them that is clean enough to make a reasonable suture, do they?
No.
The three which are dropped, are they absolutely dead?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, I think we're in no state to press on. Let's carry what we can carry, and if we simply move everything else and hide it 100 yards down the road, a little off the road, no one else is going to find it.
Yeah. You can find a stone cairn that's reasonably recognizable, and you can stash what's left there. It's not too far away.
Yes. Yeah. and make our way back before we run into any other
trouble.
We're not in a fit state to handle.
Yeah. The weather's better, so the going's a little easier. So you get back home just as evening's falling. Really. Let's see. Healing.
What is there a custom around here about if you kill a bandit? I mean, would you take their head in for a reward, or do you take their ear, or is there a...
They need to be recognizable, so you probably have to take their heads.
Sounds like a plan.
It's unpleasant, but there you go.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Out with the dagger, right?
Hack.
That's a hideous sacrilege of desecrated bodies, but
yes. Well, it needs must. So that's 3 heads, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you can't heal till you get back home and get into some decent rooms on board, or get a good meal in you. But yeah, you sort of get back in, still fairly bedraggled and dirty and bloodied.
Actually, taking 4 heads. There's the other guy who killed. That's there.
Oh yeah, so 4 heads. Okay, 4 heads in a sack.
Yes.
Okay, and you drag yourselves back home.
So I've now got 2 whistle trophies.
Yes. Do you want to see Wilhelm straight away, or do you want to rest up? Or
no, yes, let's see him straight away. Yeah, it does know. It makes our story more credible if he sees the state we're in.
Yeah, so you find him in the beak. He's had a few beers and seems to be in good humor when he sees you. Ah, Ulthar and friends. Well, did you find my wagons?
We found some of your goods, yes. And the fellow responsible dumped the leader's head on table.
Lovely.
I apologize to the barmaids.
Yes, there's a bit of shrieking and carrying on, but yeah. You should best turn that into the watch for the reward. Wolfskin, I see. So were they all bandits like him?
This was their leader, yes. But we recognised one of them, didn't we?
Yes, I believe one of them may have been a child of one of the farmers around here.
Or from here?
Child. No, sorry, Brokewater. Sorry.
Brokewater. Do you have his head?
Open the sack, I guess, and show him.
Rummage around. Is it this one? Is it this one? Got Lagear. Right, he sort of double takes when he looks at one of the heads and then peers at it more closely. Ugh. Sigmar's balls. I know this fellow. He guided for us all last year. Must have decided to turn for some reason.
They were using some sort of beast that lurks in the swamp. Tentacled.
A bog octopus.
Yes, they called it with a whistle.
Terrible creatures, but I've never known one to be tamed before. How strange.
We don't know if it's tamed or simply responsive to the whistle.
Did you kill them all?
Was it two got away?
Three
escaped.
Oh.
Would you know them if you found them again?
As a matter of fact, we would.
Did we get their hoods off?
Well, we studied them when we.
You got a general idea of the build and so on.
Yeah, we studied them when we were negotiating.
Yeah, we might do. We have some of your goods, and we have some more hidden away to be fetched.
So, the price we agreed, what was it? 3 gold each, I think. And bonus. So he counts out an additional 5 gold coins. So that's 14 gold. There was the 22 silver you looted from the bodies. And 1 silver for each bandit that you turned in. So that's another 4. So he counts this all out into a pouch, sort of draws the string tight and holds it out towards Ulthar and then draws it back. If you find these other 3 men and kill them, I will pay you another 3 gold.
Good, thank you. You're an honourable man.
I'm just writing all. I'm writing it all down. What was the bonus? Bonus gold.
It was 5 bonus gold.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
We could do with a good night's rest, but perhaps on the morrow we could lead some of your people to recover the rest of your goods.
Aye. I'll prepare a wagon for tomorrow. You get your rest. Innkeep, their food and their ale is on me.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Right. Right, so a decent meal and a soft bed. Do any of you have the heal skill?
That is a good question. It's an advanced skill, I take it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think anyone can.
List.
I don't.
Yeah, it must be an advanced skill.
I do not.
Someone in town who does.
Yes, there's probably someone in town. Yeah, Alyssa at the apothecary can treat your wounds. So yes, you can hobble on over there. Right. So with medical attention. Couldn't put the heal skill in with the healing section. Nope, it has to be under the skills section. No. Heal. Okay. Right. Under her tender mercies, powders are poured into your wounds, things are washed with things that sting, bandages are tied around, and you're poked and prodded and otherwise subjected to all manner of undignified attentions. Who's taken damage? Everyone, or?
I have taken damage, yeah.
I am uninjured.
I've taken
Okay.
total.
So... Right. So Gantz, heal 2 wounds from the damage you've taken.
Okay.
And make an endurance roll with a +20 bonus.
Okay. That is a miss by 1.
Miss by 1. What's your toughness?
My toughness is 35.
Okay, heal an additional 2 wounds.
Okay.
Okay, Ulthar. The apothecary fails completely to treat your wounds other than to clean them. And can you make an endurance roll at +20, please?
Oh, I've got a 7. What's my endurance? It is 30, so that's like 3 degrees of success.
Okay, and what's your toughness?
Also 30.
Okay, so regain 6 wounds.
Woo! From 7 to down 7 to down 1.
Okay. So you get your wounds seen to, you have yourselves a hearty meal at the inn and a good rest before the morrow. Wilhelm is eager for the off. He's gathered a couple of wagons and a couple of wagon drivers. Hasn't really loaded them up with anything much. Just wants to get there quickly. So just you and your equipment can ride in one of the wagons.
Okay.
Come. I have a taste for blood.
Gentlemen, can I just take a 1-minute break to handle a biological necessity?
Okay, 5-minute break, everybody.
Thank you.
I shall check the comments, see if anyone's asking anything. Hey Arch, hey Jack. How you doing? Enjoying the show? I really thought the Bogtopus was going to eat one of them. Well, there were some missing wagons, which they went to investigate, and it turned out that a guy acting as a guide from the village of Brokewater was basically acting like a land-born wrecker, leading caravans off the main trail and into the clutches of a bog octopus. These lot got there, managed to wear the Bogtopus down to the point where it retreated, faced off with the bandits, intimidated them, and then ended up slaughtering them after a feint where they pretended to hand over their money. And they've figured out where they're from and are going to go and confront them next. So that's what's going on. And after that encounter, we shall probably stop.
I am returned.
Welcome back.
All right, so I guess I have 2 questions. Actually, I have 3 questions for you. All right, starting from least to most plausible, okay?
Okay.
Presumably, there's no time to buy armor between now and when you set off, correct?
Correct.
All right. How plausible is it for me to get someone to give me dignified attention before I pass out, like sing me a song or something? All of them.
Yeah, there's probably someone who can do that for you.
All right. Let's see if I can handle that. And then my other question was, says I'm a watch recruit, so I should probably explain to my captain why I'm not at work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's probably fairly tolerant. Yeah, if you're out hunting bandits, that's, yeah. That's part of the job.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I definitely want to take care of that before I call it a night.
So we'll probably just handle the encounter in Brokewater, and then we'll probably stop.
Okay.
Things moved a little faster than I expected because of the moving away from the octopus had made me have to intervene with the bandits a little earlier than I intended.
I do not apologize for being a coward.
A survivor.
Definitely.
Every group needs one. Are weapon ranges given in feet, meters, yards?
I think it's yards. I should just double check for you.
I'm sure it's yards. Warhammer is always imperial scale.
Yeah.
In every sense.
It's got to be yards. It's the only thing that makes sense, I think.
This is 3rd edition, by the way, right?
4th.
Ah, crud. That
I found a free rule book last night, but I don't know which edition it is.
Probably not the 4th one if it's free.
I don't know. I found it on a pretty sketchy website.
Then we shall not speak of it.
It's got a dwarf with a mohawk on the front.
Ooh, Troll Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yards. Ranges in yards.
Okay. How many arrows did I pick up, by the way?
20.
Okay. And I suppose I don't have time to buy additional arrows before I run off, do I?
No, not really.
Okay, that's good.
Probably that's a good boss for some. And if you remember the watch, can't you just...
Yeah. 20 should be enough. How many of these bandits can there still be?
Yeah.
Is everyone back?
Yeah.
Is Fantastico back?
I'm here.
Okay. See, this is the only disadvantage with the portraits is I can't see when you're there. Right. Okay. So Wilhelm orders the wagons to roll out, and they move at a fair old clip, despite being drawn by mules and being pretty big, heavy things, because they're only carrying you. So, yeah, a fair old clip. You have to camp out one night on the way, even so. It's fairly pleasant. He's brought some good food with him. You know, you throw a canvas over the wagon, and it's relatively warm and unexposed to the elements. And then the following day, you finally roll into Brokewater. It's almost more of a hamlet than a village. There can't be more than 80 people who live here, and it's clearly very down on its luck. The thatching on the cottages is rotting and falling away from the roofs. It hasn't really been replaced with anything. They don't really have an inn, just a kind of way station for wagons, and they can't offer much there. The people look pretty thin, and hungry, and downtrodden, and look actually quite happy to see the wagons roll in, thinking this must be business. Do you want to actually say that, Nathan?
Yeah, sorry. I thought we were going to pick up the stashed loot.
Yes, you could probably stop off and pick that up in the wagons as well, without it slowing you down too much.
We're having a bit more of a look at it by day. I mean, how much of it is there? How much is missing?
There's maybe about a quarter to a third of what was on the wagons originally that's there.
Okay, there's nothing, no particular rhyme or reason to it. It's just generic trade goods.
Yeah, stuff.
It's not like they've taken all the grain because they're obviously starving, or
no. It looks like just stuff was stashed here temporarily, and then it would have been moved on at some later point.
Okay, right,
okay. So various people come up. They're not exactly a hotelier, but the guy who runs the way station comes over to feed the mules and offer the services and meals and so on to Wilhelm. Wilhelm is clearly very angry, though he's struggling to keep it under control. He's very red-faced and clenched fists, white knuckles, sort of speaking extremely clipped and terse ways with everyone that talks to him. Once he shoos this innkeeper guy away, he turns to him and says, "So, find them. I want them dead."
Okay.
They're bandits. I believe that was the plan.
Okay. Okay, well, let's get settled at the way station.
Yeah.
And we'll keep our eyes peeled, because it may well be that if there's bandits operating out of this village, they're going to send someone to scout out the wagon that's just come in.
We may need one of your wagons, but it doesn't have to have anything on it.
Okay. Can you make intuition rolls, please?
And is that a success? Intuition. 0 degrees, but it is a success.
Okay, that still counts.
Rolled a 47. That's probably not then. What's intuition? Is that a... no, a fail.
Okay.
Fail.
Okay. So, who succeeded?
Fantastico.
Okay. Right, so you sit in the way station. Their beer is as terrible as the rest of their village, and the food is just pottage. It's nothing really worth having. Even the way station itself has seen better days. It's a dirt floor that hasn't been replenished and reflattened in a long time. The rushes and hay that they've scattered over the floor is old and covered in mold. It's just thoroughly unpleasant. A lot of wagons are choosing not to stop in Brokewater. They'd rather stick to their own rations. So they're making a big fuss over you, but they don't have much to make a fuss with. Fantastico, you see one of the locals kind of saunter up as if he's going to proposition you all with something. Then he does a sort of double take when he sees you three, and carries on walking straight past you and out the door at the other side.
As he's passing, I'm going to look at him, squint, and go, "I saw you."
He shakes his head and picks up the pace, walking faster towards the door.
I'm just going to get to my feet and say, "Bandit! That man is a bandit!"
Okay. The people from the wagon sort of look at each other and then look over at him. He shakes his head, waves his hands, and backs towards the door.
I'm just going to just look at the others and be like, well, actually, good question. How rest of party? How are reacting?
Yeah.
We're sort of standing up, making ready, without directly leaping forwards.
They had the temerity to attack me on the road, I say.
Hold there, my man. Just sit down the corner. We'll sort this out.
No, I didn't do anything.
Well, it's far better for everyone if you just come quietly and we'll talk it through.
Perhaps if I use a truth detection spell, it will work.
He nervously sits down, realizing he doesn't really have any other way out of this.
So, what's your name, fellow?
Oh, God, I hate you.
Why did you say that? Why would you torch?
Why would you ask what someone's called when you're only going to kill them? Don't name it. It's like naming your food. I'm Bertrand.
Bertrand. You always lived in this village?
All my life.
I see. What's your trade?
I'm a farmer.
Good, good. What kind of crops do you keep?
Mangel wurzels.
Mm. I see. And well, this man here says he saw you with a group of bandits.
Well, he must be mistaken. I just have one of those faces, I suppose.
If I was to search on your neck, would I find a whistle?
You might. My son carved it for me.
Oh, what's it for?
Calling out to each other in the dark.
Right.
So we know who's there. It's like a password.
Then I suppose you won't mind if we take you out to the side of the bog and have you blow it as loud as possible and stand right next to the bog.
That seems a very strange and specific request, sir.
Extremely.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the particular fellows that we're looking for, they didn't actually, I mean, they were bandits, but they didn't directly actually swing an arm against us. So if they were to say, cooperate with us, I'm sure we could treat them lightly.
Can you make an intimidation roll, please, at +10?
Intimidate is... yes, there's a 31 for me. And I'm going to roll a mighty 39. So I make it because it's +10.
Nice. Okay. He glances left and right and leans forward. And if I give up the others, will you let me go?
With a flogging, sure.
Agreed.
So long as it's with my life.
Yeah, fair.
All right. The other two you want are Frank and Ortwin.
Where are they?
They'll be at Frank's hovel drinking, I should think.
Okay.
And where are the rest of the goods you stole?
They're under his hovel in his root cellar, or stashed out where we ambushed you.
Well, we already grabbed those, so yeah.
Tell me, how did this sorry state of affairs start? What made you turn to this?
We're starving, and so few wagons came to the village anymore. And the merchants like Wilhelm are so fat and rich and so many goods, but they don't stop here. They don't sell them to us. They don't trade them with us. They take them on to other places like Almshoven.
So that answers the goods, but I don't quite understand. Where do the wagons themselves go and the horses?
The bogtopus usually drags them into the lake, into the bog, into the swamp, beneath the surface.
And well, the thing is, those poor fellows driving those wagons, they were no better off than you.
They were better off than us.
Well, yeah, sure. Some merchants are fat, but the wagon drivers are poor.
We were starving. What choice did we have?
Could have stood arms from the church. From the big
church. The church goes after people like you, I'm afraid, for donations.
You could have signed up and joined the watch, like our friend here.
I'm sure it all seems very easy to you, sir, but not to us.
Well, still, if what you said is true, yeah, we'll honor this agreement. Consider yourself lucky. Does anyone else have a question for this man?
Yeah, my character is going to completely break character at this point and just be like, "Nope, sounds good to me."
Okay, well, why don't you stay here in that corner under the watchful eye of our friends here until we get back, and we'll go and see if what you've told us is true. Anything else you want to add?
No, just know that we were desperate, and that's why we done it. And if you intend to kill them, make it a quick and a clean one.
As opposed to feeding them to a beast. Noted.
Okay, I'll just step away from it so we can talk about ourselves. Do you have anything to add on how we proceed here?
It's not that I don't sympathize with them, but I can't really agree with their method, shall we say. We should most likely just let our employer know where we're going and go there and take care of business.
We have to we have to make sure we can honor our deal with this one.
That's easy. Give him a few coins.
No, I'm happy to see this one survives. If what you said is true, this should be
right. But who's going to watch him? Because if we have any of what's his name? If we have any of Wilhelm men watch him, we'll have to explain who he is. And Wilhelm's not going to let him live.
I can charm Wilhelm and convince him that this was a witness and not someone who was. He says he is a farmer, and that is true. So simply say that he was in his fields or whatever, or walking through the bog and happened to notice.
Yeah, but you just call them abandoned in a public place.
He does seem happy for us to lead on this, and I suspect he's unlikely to act. You know, again in a public place, in a tavern. If Wilhelm cares that much, he could flog the man himself when we get back.
I can also simply say the truth, which is I had no idea if that man was actually a bandit or not, and say I was simply trying to spook him out. I'll look a fool, but he'll be alive.
But still, let's press on and check out his information. I'm sure a merchant will be happy with the return of the rest of his goods.
Yeah, we'll have to take him with us. It's the only way.
I don't recommend taking him with us to kill his companions.
I don't want to be watching our back when we're fighting the other two.
We can leave him here. I will tell Wilhelm he was a witness. I will explain that I was trying to spook out a potential bandit. I can be charming when I wish.
Okay.
Okay, so you explain the situation as you've led out to Wilhelm. Can you make a charm roll, please?
Yes, sir. Let me check. It's something I actually have a few points in.
Besides, ultimately, Wilhelm doesn't have the power of life and death here. We do.
That's true to an extent, but we do want him to be our employer and happy with us. 1 degree of success.
Okay, he doesn't seem too happy about it, but he agrees to that he and his men will keep an eye on this fellow while you deal with the others. Okay.
Right. All right.
Right. So this fellow gives you the directions, and you pass out of the way station and walk across the village. Doesn't take very long to the hovel. There are 2 men inside. You can see through the shutters of one of the windows as you get closer, just drinking and talking. They look rather grim-faced and shaken.
I'm going to circle around, make sure there aren't any other means of egress.
Window.
Yeah, there's a smaller sort of stoop height side door, and then there's the main front door.
Okay.
I'll watch from the back and take anyone who tries to run that way. You 2 go in from the front.
Okay.
Okay, are you just going to bust the door open or knock or?
Yeah, let's bust the door. Just claim the surprise.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're leaving armed. We're doing a you're under arrest. We attack if they try to resist.
Okay, who's breaking down the door?
That'll be me.
Okay, add 20 to your strength and roll.
Okay. That is a success by 4.
Okay, so you muscle up to the door, give it a mighty hoof with your booted foot, and it breaks off its rope hinges and collapses inside. They start up from their crude wooden table, dropping their mugs, and look at you and seem to realize who you are, and they just put their hands up. They know you can take them. They saw what you did to the others.
Okay, right.
I'll just go inside from the back then, just not be let in.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Find them. Right.
Well, as you move towards them, one of them throws himself at your feet. Please, sir, mercy. We were starving. We've got families.
You know, would I know where the nearest port is?
Almshoven has a small port, and there's a fishing docks here, but not.
Right. Okay. Right. To the man of the watch, bind them for now. You two, talk. Where are the goods?
In the cellar. What's left of them? We've eaten a lot of them, sold what we could, given the rest to our neighbours. You find a trapdoor under the straw covering the floor, pull it open. Yeah, there's boxes and bags and things down below.
Right.
All right, you two, if you permit me, Lord, you two deal with the perhaps making sure everything is here, and I'll begin frog marching these two back to, well, I think they're smart enough that if I keep them at 10-foot range with this, they're not going to try running.
Yeah. Right. So that they're bound, and you sort of prod them over. You're taking them back to the way station where Wilhelm is, yeah?
No, actually. No? As soon as I am out of range, I'm just going to look at him and be like, you know, it just so happens there might be a boat coming in the near future if you go to one of the docks, and they might be looking for someone who wants to be a deckhand or something. Just work for passage. Beats starving and it beats dying.
You're letting us go?
What will you do if I do? You actually try to make the most out of it, or are you going to turn to this shit again?
We'll make the most out of it.
All right. May sound like an odd request, but since I am letting you live, give me a few punches to make it look legitimate.
Well, if you unbind us.
He will unbind them.
Okay. You sure about this?
Yeah, that's them asking, or you asking?
That's them asking.
Oh yes, you're going to need to give me a few black eyes here.
Okay, take 2 wounds from the various cosmetic shoeings you're given, and then they scarper.
And I'm just going to muck up my robes a little bit, shall we say?
Yeah,
and then just start heading back to the hovel.
Yeah. Are you auditioning for Empire? Sorry.
Okay, I get it. And you two, are you just transferring the goods back to the way station then? Or getting some of the caravan men to help? Or?
We'll go and tell these people we found the goods. Please haul them back to the hole for us.
Right, so yeah, they all come back and forth. Oddly, Fantastico hasn't turned up, and neither of the 2 prisoners. Eventually you get all the goods back, and that's when you stumble back. Are you going to give them this bullshit story that they jumped you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've got some injuries on. Be like, well, apparently when you have magic and they are going to their deaths, they're still willing to try kicking you in the balls.
Wilhelm, I'll escort this gentleman back to his hovel. So
can you make a charm roll to convince people of your story? They are convincing wounds, so you can have a +10 bonus.
All right, come on. Yeah, get a perfect botch on this. And we're sending you to the gallows. It is a 33. It's going to be... Yeah, that's below. Okay. 1 degree of success.
Doesn't stop Wilhelm being incredibly angry, though, and he kicks chairs around, smashes a tankard on the table. You let them get away. Ugh.
I apologize, good sir.
You're sure this one is only a witness?
I'm just going to look at him and lock eyes and say, yes.
Well, you did almost a good job. Fine. We'll take the goods and leave. and my wagons will never stop here again.
How many people seem to live in this? Like, is this literally like a one in town, essentially?
Yeah, it's like 80 people.
And a gold coin goes a long distance, I'm assuming, for these people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to just, while I'm back behind there, actually, on our way out, I'm just going to tuck a gold coin somewhere that is likely for the innkeeper to find.
Okay. Right. Wilhelm is not happy with you and just sort of grumps all the way back. But that brings things to an end, largely. So you've defeated those bandits, opened up the road again. And yeah, let 2 bandits go, peculiarly. Right. So there was 3 gold each, 5 gold bonus, 22 silver shillings found, a bow, arrows, short sword.
4 silver bounty also on the...
Yeah. So 26 coins. And you left 1 gold coin, didn't you?
Yeah, it's out of my supply, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what the experience points would be. Here we go. After the game, awarding XP. Right. I think that was a fairly good, successful session. So that's 100 XP. Your performance was somewhere between poor and good. So 120.
We did walk straight into the trap at the start.
You did, yes. Okay, so that's 225 XP each. Okay, well, that's the end of tonight's session. Thank you guys for joining and playing. There's 4 slots open, but it's going to be fairly last minute when I announce that the games are on. But if you're watching this later or whatever, and you want to join in and play sometime, hit me up with a message on Twitter or Facebook or Discord or wherever else you can find me, and I'll try and fit you in. But keep an eye on my social media when there's openings. Thank you again, guys. Anything you want to say?
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me in.
Hey, anytime. Come back next time. All right, I shall end it there. So goodbye, everyone, and see you next time.